Every day you get advertised to by these multi-millionaires telling you to invest in real estate, and it seems completely unattainable. They're buying property after property, buying tens of millions of dollars of real estate, and it seems completely unattainable to reach. Well, what if I showed you a strategy that you could build your own portfolio, but it'll just take a little bit of time? My name's Brock Earl, and I'm a loan officer in the Dallas area, and I've helped thousands of clients put their finances in order, whether it's buying a house, getting a credit card, opening a new bank account, or just overall getting their budget in order. So in this video, I'm going to show you a strategy that I'm using personally to be able to acquire as much real estate as possible, just like all of these gurus are saying, but in a way that just about anybody could do. So I'm going to take you through all the pros and the cons that I'm going through as I try to take on this strategy myself. And at the end, I'll tell you a story of a mentor who's done this over the last 15 years and has acquired tens of millions of dollars of wealth through the same exact strategy. So where I'm getting started, I live in a house right now that I plan on moving out of next year. But the big decision that I needed to make was, am I going to sell this house before I move again, or do I keep it and start down this strategy? So what we decided on was to move into our next house and keep this current house, which is starting to become more and more popular with people as they think people grow their wealth through owning real estate. So for me, I want to do the same thing. So how we're starting this, next year when we move, we've been planning on bringing our own down payment, so we're setting money aside rather than cashing on the equity at the sale of our house. Now with the house we're living in, we're going to turn it into a rental property and have somebody else pay the mortgage. Now this sounds great, but something a lot of people don't tell you about this strategy is what me and my fiance are running into. Our mortgage is going to be about $500 more per month than what we can get for rent in this area. This may sound like a situation where, Brock, it doesn't make sense, just sell the house and move on to the next one. But we're looking at this strategy with a 10 to 15 year vision rather than just this next year, and here's where it's going to pay off. So even though we're paying an extra $500 a month for having this extra house, we're going to get to take advantage of all the appreciation, so my home going up in value in the area that I'm currently living in. So worst case scenario, let's look at over the next 10 years. If we're paying an extra $500 a month, this is going to cost us $60,000 that we're putting towards a mortgage that we're not even living in this house. But on the other hand, the appreciation on this home is going to make us at least an extra $100,000. But since the area that our house is in, and there's so much development that's going on with PGA Frisco, there's a Universal Studios that's coming in, we really plan on this house going up a ton in value, which over that same 10-year period of time could make us an additional $200,000 just on the equity in this property. So by just looking at those numbers, spending an extra $60,000 to make $200,000 is an absolute no-brainer to us. And from this strategy, we're going to continue to do that, not just on this house, but the next house that we're moving into next year. Now, this same strategy, we're going to rinse and repeat and use this time after time after time on the main house that we're living in and turn it back into a rental property. So as we look at the next house that we want to live in, we're going to make sure it's in an area that's going to be going up in value and ideally renting for enough to cover the mortgage. But even if it doesn't, then we'll still be in a position, because we bought in a good area, to be able to make more money on that property, even if we're paying a little bit extra. Now, I've mentioned it multiple times, we're going to be losing money every single month on that property, but that's one of the risks that come along with it. So we want to make sure that you're really planning on a budget and having a reserve set aside for you to take on this plan, so you don't put yourself in a worse situation and actually have these extra houses become more of a liability to you. This strategy may sound easy and you're wondering why everybody doesn't do it, but here's a mentor of mine that has taught me the same strategy and did it over the last 15 years and has made tens of millions of dollars by doing so. What he did, once he started setting his money aside, he put together a budget to know exactly what down payment he needed for the next house. So as they were looking throughout the year, as soon as he had that extra down payment to buy his next house to live in, they would pick up their family and move on to the next home. Now, as they did this time after time, they would have more cash flow from the additional properties. Their income was going up, so they were able to buy properties quicker. But if you do this for a 10, 15-year period of time, he was able to accumulate as much as 50 properties that were all renting out, where some of them he was living in, some of them were just investments, but he was able to acquire a new property really every single year, which progressed to almost every single month. Now, the coolest part of this story is he was able to take all of these properties and sell them all to be able to buy apartment complexes. This allowed him to bring everything under one roof and really expand much quicker as he got into a whole nother asset class to be able to continue growing his wealth. Now, all of those advertisements that you've seen of these multi-millionaires buying up apartment complexes, they might have had this same exact story. You don't have to go that far, but you can set yourself up in a really great way to be able to have a great real estate portfolio that's making you money every month. And if you want to sell it, you're going to have all of your retirement set aside just in those properties, because they went up in value over the last 10, 15 years as you've been executing on this time after time. I'm going to be making more videos about this as I continue to execute it on myself, but if you have any questions about this strategy, leave a comment or reach out to me. All my contact information is in my profile. But hopefully we learn enough from these videos that we can all make a ton of money from this strategy and be the people that are buying these tens of millions of dollars of apartment complexes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.